Okay, so today I'm meeting with two of the top real estate agents in Las Vegas, and they're going to be showing us some of the best neighborhoods in all of the city and giving us some insight on to where a great place would be to buy a house. So I think I'm at the right place.
I'm Austin, this is my wife.
Sam.
We're real estate agents out here in Las Vegas who pride ourselves on showing people the other side of Las Vegas, so the cool communities, and helping our clients buy houses that they can live in as an investment.
Cool, perfect.
Sam and I's entire focus with everything we do around real estate is, I'd say about 80% of our clients are purchasing in these older communities because they have big backyards, the houses have a lot of character, there's landscaping, there's greenery, there's this vibe that it doesn't feel like you're living in what people think is Las Vegas because it's big trees, big bushes, flowers, greenery. But outside of the fact that it looks really cool, it makes for an amazing investment. No matter how much you want to build a house that was built in 1970 and 2020, you can't do it. It's not going to have that same feel to it. And so with limited supply of these older homes and increasing demand, because we have people moving here from places like California, which are really green, Texas and Florida on the coast, and New York and Chicago, these places that have culture and character, a lot of these people don't want to move into a neighborhood that everything looks really clean and perfect and similar, right? And that's awesome for some people, but a lot of these people moving in from out of state, they want to move to these cooler, older communities, and the demand is definitely increasing there. So this is Siegfried and Roy's place right here.
So after meeting up at Austin and Sam's house, we hit the road to start exploring some of their favorite neighborhoods throughout the city.
So McNeill Neighborhood was all built in the 60s, and these houses were built to be desert modern, meaning they were taking into account that Las Vegas gets 110 degrees. This is one of the communities that, even though there's no HOA, when you drive through it, every single house is in amazing condition. They're all unique, massive wide open streets, and when you look on both sides, you have lawns, you have green landscaping. It just doesn't look like Las Vegas, but in fact, this is the original Las Vegas. And I think the coolest thing about this is you get that kind of suburban feel, and we're probably 2 miles from the Strip and a mile from downtown Las Vegas. So for McNeill, most of those properties are going to be on a 1/4 acre or a 1/2 acre of land, which just basically means anywhere from like 15,000 to 22,000 square feet. So you have front yard, you have backyard, and that's very much how they're designed, so you're not sitting on top of your neighbors. This is Rancho Bonito. This community right here is another one of our favorites. Sometimes clients come to us and they're like, hey man, I need to be in like a 3,000 square foot house. I have a big family, or my kids are gonna be visiting when they're in town, or I have multiple roommates. And so this specific neighborhood is one that we love to sell properties in as well, because a little bit different vibe. You still get that kind of suburban feel, but a lot of these houses in here are just massive. And again, just doesn't feel like this would be downtown Las Vegas. So the really cool thing with downtown Las Vegas is that about 8 years ago now, the company Zappos, who sells shoes, they came out to Las Vegas. Tony Hsieh was the guy who's essentially running it. Super successful at a young age. And when he came out to Vegas, he wanted to have a bigger impact on Las Vegas than just bringing a company and employing some people. And so what he did was he started something called the Downtown Project. And growing up in Las Vegas, downtown was like the hood, right? And it's always kind of funny because the hood for Las Vegas isn't the hood, in my opinion, for LA or these other big cities like Chicago and New York. It's not nearly as bad. But this was the grimy area. It was the place you didn't go. Didn't look nice. And within these last 8 years, his entire focus was bringing new businesses down to this general area. This is all residential that I have blocked in. And what they did was they put in, this is Fremont Street right here. And so a lot of people have heard of the Fremont Experience, which is it's very still touristy. It's still kind of the strip vibe. But what they did was they created Fremont East, which is for locals. And Vegas has never had that. And so they brought that to Vegas.
The mission statement for Downtown Project is to help make downtown Vegas a place of inspiration, entrepreneurial energy, creativity, innovation, upward mobility, and discovery.
And with that, they also brought the gentrification or the improvement of the residential area. And a lot of these houses are built in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Again, same cool vibes, where they created the slogan, which is live, work, play. And you can live downtown, you can work downtown because they brought so many businesses down there now, and you could play because that's where, as a local, we hang out. It's cool vibes down there. So one of the areas that we're going to be going to today is called Paradise Palms. This was the first master plan community out here in Las Vegas. The builders they started building houses out in Palm Springs, and they decided to put a community out here. So Casino was based on the mobster Lefty Rosenthal. The house that he was living in was in Paradise, in the movie was in Paradise Palms.
God damn you, come out here! I'm in the living room!
This community is known for mid-century modern homes, which is typically gonna be like these low profile, you're gonna have cool angles on the houses. So this was a property we helped our clients purchase almost 3 years ago now. This was sold by a Cirque du Soleil performer who had put quite a bit of money into it, but they did a really awesome job when they did the remodel. They kept a lot of that cool, like, older vibe with it instead of just completely remodeling it to look brand new. This community alone probably has had more famous people live in it than any other community out here in Las Vegas, at least publicly. When they built Paradise Palms, they built 3 different sections of it. One section which is directly on the golf course. It's gonna be the most high-end, it's gonna be the nicest houses. And then they built one just off of the golf course and just north that were less expensive. So on the left, which are the properties that we're gonna drive into that are backing the golf course, there's properties selling for $500,000 plus. And then we find properties just off the golf course in Paradise Palms, around $300,000 and up. There's properties even selling, I'm sure, in the 200,000s, but they just get to be remodeled. Sam, get down there so when he films, you can jump out.
What the hell is the point of that?
So for the crawl space, they have like plumbing and then whatever else is running through it. Typically plumbing. But what were you gonna say?
That's where you had the drugs and the money.
Okay, so we just finished touring a property that recently sold for $319,000. It's in the downtown area in a beautiful neighborhood, and I think my favorite part about the property is actually you can walk right out the front door and see the strip, see the big buildings of the strip, and it's really cool. Within, I think, a 10-minute drive or less to the strip and the downtown Fremont area. Overall, I think this is a really good example of a property that most people can afford, a price point that most people are looking at, the 300,000 range. And yeah, so now we are going to continue the tour. So let's go.
Yeah, so this next downtown neighborhood we're gonna go through is Glen Heather Estates, which most of the properties in this specific neighborhood are gonna be all ranch style, meaning that they're single-story homes on half-acre or more plots of land, so 20,000 square feet or bigger. And This specific neighborhood kind of reminds me of the neighborhood that we're living in. The community we're gonna go into next is probably the most high-end community in the downtown area. I mean, would you agree, Sam?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's called Scotch 80s, and I mean, houses are gonna go from anywhere from 500,000-600,000 up to 2 million. Yeah, so this is Scotch 80s right here. Here in Paradise Palms, this is where you'll find the most like famous people have lived. But everyone from, I think, Nicolas Cage to the owner of EDC, the mayor. This is this is like the outskirts of the arts district. And so this has been one of the areas that has been coming around for downtown Las Vegas. They've been putting in restaurants and bars, and we're kind of on the outside of it right now. So we're gonna turn into Main Street. All right, this is the very outskirts. Right now we're on Fremont Street heading towards Las Vegas Boulevard. This is the beginning of the area that has started to turn around because of Tony Hsieh when he started the downtown project for Las Vegas. And it hasn't quite reached down this far, but in about a half mile is where we start to see the effects of the last 8 years of work that the city's put in and Tony Hsieh's put in. So this area has been essentially the hangout area for locals. If you're going out on a Friday night, Saturday night, even a Wednesday night, and you want good drinks, good vibe, music, this is the area that we come. It's a cool area, especially for like, we tend to see a lot of the younger locals.
So we're taking a tour down Fremont, and it's pretty cool hearing Austin's perspectives on the city and how it's grown in his experience living here for 20 years. Oh wow, look at this. Pop-up photo shoot. So I just wanted to wrap up here with Austin's thoughts on the day and overall just what you should think about if you're moving here and some of the neighborhoods to consider in Las Vegas.
So we got to check out 4, 5, 6 different awesome neighborhoods that we took Chris to. One of my favorite things about Las Vegas that a lot of people don't realize is that there's some beautiful communities built in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And when you're moving out here, some people like the communities where the houses are close and everything looks the same. That's awesome. But if that's not for you, you can find something that has an awesome front yard, cool backyard, there's character to the communities, the neighbors all know the other neighbors, and it's just a different vibe, right? I think that my favorite thing outside of that is that it's all close to the strip and to downtown. And so even though it doesn't feel like you're in Las Vegas because there's massive trees and lawns, you're also close to everything at the same time. It's becoming only more popular, which is increasing the value of these houses because as people moved out of state, they're realizing these communities exist, so they make for great investments as well.
I'm just trying to get in my house.
If you guys are interested, you guys can check us out on Instagram at The Other Las Vegas, and our YouTube is going to be The Williams Team, where we'll be highlighting other awesome neighborhoods and kind of showing you guys how people are making money in Las Vegas just by buying a house and living in it.
You heard it from the man. Reach out to him if you have any questions about real estate in general in Vegas. Thanks for watching.